liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code is amended, known as the Texas Open Meetings Act. Any members of the public who wish to speak shall have 5 minutes. All right, if not, we'll go to our discussion and action items. If it's agreeable with everyone, we have a lot of visitors this morning. I'd like to go to item number 9 and go ahead and address the county depositories. Is that agreeable? Item number 9 is to consider awarding the county depositories for the county's public funds, trust funds in the possession of the county clerk and the district clerk's registry funds. We did get information from the Community National Bank, In Commons, Citizens, and Prosperity. And Jeannie, would you like to discuss some of this?
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of y'all that bid on our repository contract. I know that's a lot of work, and we just appreciate the effort and everything y'all put in. Thank you very much. We also have what the commissioners are looking at. I just made like a little worksheet tally list, so if any of y'all are interested in a copy of that while we're discussing it, you're welcome to get that. So we did the worksheet. Y'all had some time to look over it. If y'all have any questions, we did contact, on the remote depositories, we contacted each office that kind of does their own deposits and did find out that majority of them do use cash and money orders, and some use cashier's checks, so that is a big factor that we will have. Most of our stuff will be in the form of cash, cashier's checks, and money orders. So,
and there's one more.
yeah, remote would only do the checks and cash, maybe the cashier's checks, but it will not do the money orders or the cash.
And you created this based on, excuse me, on a form just like this. It was in each one of the depositories.
Yes.
And just put it all on one sheet so it'd be easy for us to look at.
Yes, that's correct.
We do appreciate all the submissions. They all were very, very good.
When I sent out the reminder, each bank was willing to send someone today to answer any questions that commissioners may have for them also.
What's the difference in 07 and 095 on a daily basis for us? Approximately.
There's a lot of difference there.
Yeah.
And we did discuss that. We surely did. I think that probably was the main, that discussion and the remote access were of course the two main concerns.
I did do a quick figure or whatever, and so monthly it's probably $1,400, $1,500, $1,600 versus with what we keep in there versus a couple hundred. But
What about daily deposits on cash?
That was the issue. You want to talk about that a little more?
How much cash that we're doing daily? Yeah, when I contacted the offices, the JP said majority of theirs were cash and money orders. They get a lot of money orders. They don't take any personal checks, so the checks would be like company checks. If a company sent in, but, the, county clerk, Linda could probably tell you a little better, but when we spoke to her, she says that they take, quite a bit of cash, and, I think take all those, is that correct, Linda?
Correct.
But majority of theirs is cash, and, so, we did run into that there would still be lots of cash that have to go to the bank.
And that would have to be taken to the bank, whichever bank was, if it was out of town bank, we'd have to drive to the bank to make that deposit. How often, I see we do have a JP here, how often do you make deposits?
Every day.
Every day.
Usually we have cash every day, we'd like to make it every day, so our book works, things right.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just that they're supposed to make daily deposits, that's what the statute says, that they make daily deposits, but if not, by the 5th business day. So,
The statute said you have to make deposits every day or by the,
at least by the 5th business day.
so we could actually go 5 days without making a deposit.
You can, and still be within the statute, you can.
So that would only be about one, you could go for a week.
If they made a deposit after they went and made a deposit on Monday, and then there was more money that came in on that Monday, then it would have to be deposited on that Friday. So,
But could you have a cutoff time about what time you got the money on Friday or whatever, if you made a deposit on Friday, because the banks stay open on Friday?
right,
And just say it has to be here by 4 o'clock or whatever?
Make deposits on Friday, have all week to collect them and deposit them Friday afternoon,
So we actually only have to make a deposit on
once a week.
once a week on Fridays.
We do ours every day at 4, we close at 4, so we do ours, it's after hours anyway, I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's not that days, but to make our records balance right and to be able to find errors easier, we do it every single day. I mean, it could be, we could, do every 2 days or whatever, I mean, I don't mind driving, I get travel from, work, so if that's what y'all's concern is.
I was just looking at a way that we can just make one deposit one time a week, like on Fridays or whatever. Because most banks do stay open that late.
May I add, I would not like keeping cash for
Yeah.
over a few days. I think making the deposit daily with cash is important for me.
If it was just checks, it's different, but we have cash every day. Some people even mail in cash, which I do not recommend, by the way. But it does happen, still.
After reviewing these, it looked like community and citizens were the two that were probably met our needs the best, is that correct?
That's what I'm here to see, yes.
And the two issues between the two were the interest rate for the checking account and the remote deposit issue. And it really wouldn't be feasible to use the remote machines on checks and then keep the cash and do it all at a different time, because it would be hard for them to keep their reports correct. So they would actually need to drive to make their deposits. And then the interest rate.
I'll make a motion, we leave with community national. For the simple fact of simplification on the cash money. somebody can drive ski.
Well, it would be from each department, because, you know,
Yeah.
a long time ago, we had talked about, when we were doing another one of these, if everybody brought all the money to the treasurer's office, and then one person would just have to drive. But if that happened, everybody that brought in the money, the treasurer's office would have to count it all, verify it, and it would be a lot of extra work for the treasurer's office if we centralized that. So that would be, you know, that was,
And I think we
we
even
did
talked
try
about a
to
little
figure
bit,
out other ways to.
a little bit of security in that measure of not really having a
Mhm.
window or
Mhm.
whatever, that we could take that through and it still be secure, you know, as far as if somebody come in and we just had a bunch of money.
Lay it out there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How much money are we talking about difference in the '07 and the '09 I mean, how much money are we talking about? Is it a month? Anybody
You
know?
made an estimate, she gave it just a minute ago, did you say it again?
Did you say 200 and 1,400? Is that what you said? So 200 where it's at now, and 1,400 somewhere else?
Currently, what the deposit
That's
was.
a month. Is it gonna cost $1,400 for us to get it over somewhere else? In travel?
It just depends on how they set that up.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And also, just add this in, text pool's interest is really good right now. We were kind of looking at that yesterday afternoon, and we've done really well keeping a lot of funds in text pool.
Trying to
So-
keep our balances lower. in
It keeps our
bank.
banking balance lower, and so, but we are doing really well in text pool. I kind of pulled and we've done really well in less than a year in the text pool. So as long as text pool's up, I would assume we're gonna continue to
Maybe to
utilize that.
offset that difference there.
Yes.
Any discussion from anyone else? We have a motion to go with community, stay with community. If there's no second, then that motion dies for lack of a second.
I'll make a motion to go with citizens.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Let's take about a 5-minute break, and then, Gina, you may want to visit with everyone.
Sure will.
Thank you all.
Dave's not his brother. My dad's Mike.
I'm gonna go ahead and go do that.
I got you. I recognize the big choke. I can't remember whether that was a Tick name or a man name or what, so.
16, we're 16.
So yeah, wait, it's the news right now.
16, they figured it out too. It's too bad. I guarantee we can go 14,000.
25, 60 difference.
Very well, thank you.
25, 60, all these years. Not put money in the bank.
is off.
The heat is off, you can come sit next to me.
Don't be sitting that little sneaker. They're gonna be playing that because they're gonna make people want to dig in there.
They're doing it in me.
You know, cash.
Two ways.
But I'm just saying, we need to come. So we don't ask for the.
That's the thing. I mean, I drive closets on a weekly basis. Now, I wanna get out, I wanna drive to 10, I wanna drive back, and the hell am I turning mileage? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's way, all I'm saying, it's way easier for me to get out and just literally come back home, so. Hey, I'm not looking at, y'all are looking at, y'all are looking at.
Yeah, it can be fair to feed them, whatever it needs to do. Ain't that sweet?
We should ask if they should maybe pick up.
And just so you know, we won't be making any deposits until Friday. Right, since I'm gonna have more people in my office now. So we'll have to come up with some sort of procedure or something like that, let you know. I know it's just 8 mile thing, but that makes a huge difference. That's pretty much at least an hour. That's not gonna lie.
Right, and I don't have some copy of the information here.
We'll just have to figure out how we're gonna manage that.
We're ready, and now we'll go back to item number 1, to approve minutes.
approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 2 is budget transfers and amendments.
I make a motion to pay the budget transfers and amendments.
I'd like to know one thing for a vote on number 4, is this the first time we've taken money out the courthouse, to go to the jail? That's the first time we've had to do that, isn't it?
Out of the courthouse building, yes. We, well, no, actually, the whole thing is, no, let me rephrase that. Last year, it was all in one and we transferred it out, but this time we did separate it. We had a line item for courthouse, a line for the jail, and a line for annexes.
In the courthouse. And we ran out of the money that.
For the jail.
For the jail in the courthouse, the building maintenance.
Hmm.
And, so we've
Yes. We've had a lot of repairs lately at the jail.
Second.
A lot. But it's all within the general fund, it's nothing out of that special contingency. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve and pay the bills. Any discussion? Discussion, is there a motion?
I make a motion to pay the bill.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 4, payroll.
We don't have any tonight, Judge.
Item number 5.
Can we slip it in there?
Oh, and this is a good time to discuss. What day are we not having a meeting? Is it next week?
No, it's not next week, it's the 17th.
17th. The 17th, we will not have, we didn't have any bills or payroll for that day, so we will not have a meeting on the 17th.
And if anybody has their payroll this next time ready early, they can bring it to us early, because we've got some, we want to get started on it a little early if anybody can, because we've got a conference to go to next week after Wednesday, after Commissioners Court, rerun the bills and payroll. We're leaving.
Okay. Okay, I have a monthly report for March from the tax office. And from the extension office. Anybody that would like to review these, you can see those in the county clerk's office. We'll have them scanned. Anybody else have a report? If not, we have a motion to accept these reports.
A motion to accept the report.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 6, no discussion on the burn ban. Item number 7, special road use agreements. Anyone?
You got something?
Yeah, good morning. It's always a pleasure to be back in Big Stone County.
And as you all know, I'm Clayton Nichols with Grand Creek Pipeline. I was contacted a couple of days ago by Commissioner Daniels and his staff in regards to a couple of roads that we had noticed our construction crews using that was not on the list, that was on the bond. So I contacted the corporate office, and we have gotten those roads added to the bond via a rider. I will submit that rider to you at this time, and a new list including those roads. I think it was County Road 410 and 412. Is that correct?
I think it's 410 and 4 County Road.
You'll see that's listed in Exhibit A there, so they're added to the bond, and that's what they're covered. And I might want to make mention, anytime we find one of these roads, if they're added, it's automatically, because the bond has a date of 12/13, it's automatically retro back to that date, so we're in good shape with that. If I can indulge you just a minute, I want to kind of bring you up to date on where we are. We had, let's see, 3, 6, 8, 9 road boards to do in the county. We have completed 8 of those. The only one we haven't done is County Road 1051. That's out in Commissioner Bridges' district. I use district because back in Florida we use districts instead of precincts. Precinct, the reason we haven't done that was because that's the one out there beside the BNSF Railroad and Limited Generation. We're staging up to do a 3,600 foot HDD there, so that'll be a major undertaking. All the road boards are done except for that one, even on your precinct. 99% of the pipe has already been strung on the line, so that means all of our clearing is done. 99% of the pipe is on the ground. So what that's going to do, in fact, most of it's already welded up. What that's going to do is going to reduce a lot of the heavy traffic, heavy equipment, until we start de-staging and taking things out. So you'll be seeing a lot of pickup trucks and those kind of things on the roads now, but you won't be seeing a lot of big trucks on the road. So keep that in mind. I want to thank the Sheriff Department. We had an issue the other day down on I-45 where we had put down some tracking wire, and we use a real strong adhesive tape to do that with. And DOT wanted us to take that tape up, and of course that creates a traffic problem, and the county was really gracious to come down and lend us some help with controlling traffic on that to get that done, so we appreciate that. Other than that, I think we're in good shape. We hopefully are. One good bit of good news is that we are going to put a pump station here down on County Road 461, and that'll generate quite a bit of ad valorem taxes for you. So glad to hear that. So.
Had the warrant taxes.
And that's all I got from Grand Creek Pipeline. If you have any questions, I can have anything for you.
I noticed we have, out of all the roads y'all been down, I noticed that 411, 410, and 412, it is a tremendous amount of damage. In fact, for 412, which we did send a temporary thing in to work on that, to get those people in and out. But I noticed for 412 and then 410, I noticed a tremendous amount of damage there. So we're going to have to do something to get those people in and out of there on those roads and stuff. So.
Well, when I leave here, I'll put that on my to-do list because I'm heading to Leon County with some there. So on my way back, I'll come back by there and take a look at those. Get a hold of the contractor and get something done on that. And you had a check coming from us. Did you get that?
That was sent to the auditor's office. Have you ever received anything?
It was, what was it, 15,000 or so?
12,000 maybe.
8 or 12.
Yeah,
I don't know how much it was. I just thought about that while we're sitting here, so I'll follow up on that and make sure, try to track that down before we find out what that is. For some damages done on 610, I believe it was, or 604.
610.
Yes.
Yeah, 604.
I'll make sure you get that.
412.
I'll find out. It's coming from the contractors, so sometimes they kind of,
I appreciate
probably want a little bit sometimes with getting done, but anyway, appreciate the cooperation from the county. It's been a pleasure being here. Like I say, we're still here, still eating in the restaurants, still camping at the RV park, and enjoying our stay while we're here. So thank you for all your help. Any questions?
I'll make that a motion that we're.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
I'll check on that. If you don't have any other questions, if y'all don't mind, I need to get moving, so I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see all of you.
I've got
Yeah,
11.
thank you for your help.
No, I've got 10. And it's a 1.2 million class roads, and not any 945 and 946. You don't have your,
I don't have anything here that
well, I'm not making a motion on them. Mine is, Ms. Linda, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
County Road 601, 611, 640, 711, 720, 730, 742, 800, and then there's two 751s, they cross it and then they move down further, there's two of those, 751 twice. And there's also two on 711, so that will be 11 roads. And, but when we did this, they talked about it, we told them to be a total of 1.2 million. So he's putting all that on all these roads, and I don't know how we do that if we have damage on one, in which we will. But I guess we just, get them to pay for it and go home, we gotta have a $1.2 million bond on those roads. Is that right, Judge?
It's supposed to be 100,000 a road, I think, if that's what it,
Well, this,
No, this is
1.2 million.
1.2 million.
Yes, but.
How many roads is it? How many you got there?
11 to 12. They cross the road, I know 711, 751's crossed twice in two different areas, but they're gonna use that road all the time.
Right. So if you got together on that list there with my two on there?
No, I don't have this, yeah, they're on this list.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How many, with those on there, how many roads is it?
Well, that's two more.
So
So how many I had, that's how many. But you don't have these here today. They're not in the
I thought
staff.
they were here at one time, but I hadn't seen them since then.
But anything, and when I make a motion on these bonds, not this Bruce Suppet, y'all ain't Bruce Suppet, are you? That's who's supposed to be doing this, I don't see. But when they tear a road up, I don't want to have to wait till they get through the project to fix the road. I want that in my motion. Because lots of times they'll say, oh, we're gonna wait till we get through the job, and you can't get people out.
Okay, it's understood that the failure to either repair such damage or pay the cost within 30 days after billing shall be grounds for suspension of their permit.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking more than next day fix the roads in 30 days.
Okay, well, this is
That's,
30.
So on that 601, they're coming in on your end on the 601?
yeah,
On the
across
side
the
of the
road.
bridge?
They gonna come down both.
Probably gonna come
Come down the middle
down.
of the road?
Probably gonna come through yours too. It's just like this guy right here said, they had people going down the road, didn't know was there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
601 goes all the way through me, through you, that's interstate. Goes from 84 to interstate.
You get down that little bridge, they might not be going any further.
No,
might not.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to keep an eye on them because they're using roads that they don't have under bond.
Always have. They always have. Anyway, that's my motion for those roads.
State your motion again.
I make a motion for this $1.2 million bond on these roads.
To approve the $1.2 million bonds on the roads that you have stated. Anything else in that motion?
To get it done when it's tore up.
Okay.
Fix it immediately.
Immediately.
Oh, y'all got to sign it.
So my road's 945 and 946.
Yep.
946.
They're all there on this side.
That's the city first, isn't it? The city, then you, then me. That's 946.
Yeah. So where are they coming in?
They're gonna come off.
Yeah, well, I guess they're gonna be on mine.
They're gonna go to the city, on you. So Judge, on County Road 946, they're gonna have to go through the city, through Mike's, and then into mine.
Uh-huh.
And on 945, that's just a dead end road, and that's mine out by the prison.
Mhm.
Is that number at all, it's not on this bond?
I don't.
He didn't call that out.
No, I don't have a permit for his road.
The guy came here one time a while back.
Do we have a copy of the bond itself?
We need to get it.
Everyone came back out here at time.
He said he's gonna come back. We need to contact him.
Is there a number on there to get a hold of somebody?
Right here.
Yeah.
971-241-1455.
1314.
So it's just the, since this is attached, you know, and made part of this agreement, so it would not cover yours, should it? To get them to give you a new agreement, a new one.
They gotta sign it.
May I ask on this, when any of these roads that go to yours, as far as your roads, does any go to the other precincts that we need to consider that precinct also?
On that 601,
Yes, sir.
we're gonna bid them, we tear it up, we'll wait, yeah. 601, put the whole road. This is the first one.
Okay.
You don't put necessarily in precinct
No.
two,
Okay.
just put the road in standard. All right, do we have a motion? You made a motion?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Any opposed? None, motion carries. Anyone else? Item number 1, we do have, number 8, we do have an education certificate from Alicia Davis for the Texas College of Probate Judges.
Make a motion to accept. Huh?
Was that a second?
I'll make the motion.
I know, I said.
Second, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All in favor, aye? Motion carries. All right. Jenny, on number 9, when does that change take effect?
May the 17th is when our current depository expires.
Judge Grant,
I'm sorry.
we have a real concern with that in the tax office. We have to make, is somebody gonna come, we have sometimes have a hard time getting to the bank here daily. Much less, is somebody going to come pick up our deposits daily and take them to TIG? I mean, we are talking about, at times, millions of dollars that we can't wait and do that once a week. We have to deposit daily.
Are most of yours checks?
Oh, no,
Oh, no, it's lots of cash.
Lots of
That's
cash.
the issue we were talking about,
yes.
is the cash.
I mean, that's a big concern for us.
Just go with it.
You'll have to discuss that, and figure out what we're gonna do.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense for us to.
I understand. Keep this with you if you will. But, we'll all have to just sit down and try to make a plan. At this moment, I don't know. So. May the 17th, all right. If you'll wait just a few minutes after court, we'll maybe set a meeting or something. Item number 10, discuss the work agreement.
Yes, ma'am. I'm preparing a temporary easement. We'll start off with a work agreement, then I figured out probably a temporary easement would be better for Commissioner Daniels. I believe that there's some flooding going on. Is that the?
That's correct.
Okay, and that there needs to be, I guess, can you explain the work a little bit for me, what you're gonna do, get on there and clear out maybe a ditch or a creek or something that's there on somebody's property?
On County Road 261, the road sit lower than the people property. And what happened is when it rains a lot, the water just stands on the road and wash the road out. By getting on this piece of property, there's a creek that runs down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut probably three ditches to the creek so that the water can run from the road down through those ditches into the creek so that we can relieve that water off of the road. And so the people have given us permission to come onto the property to cut those ditches. Now what we would do also when we cut those ditches, because they have a little road that runs beside the fence, we would put also in there culverts in there so that they could go over the culverts. That would be the only expense that we would be out of, is putting culverts in there. But it would be a benefit for the county if we got onto that road. And I think that's the same road a few years ago that we had an issue with when they had a retention pond, and the retention pond broke and it washed out that road. Well, the problem is now that it sits higher than the road, and we really need that ditch to relieve that water off of the road.
Yeah, because there's a chicken house operation close, and there's been some work done. It's been an ongoing issue, I know, for Commissioner Daniels and myself, dealing with the issues that have been going out there. So I don't know, Judge, whether we need a true vote on this to get it approved, but I feel like it has public good in the work that we're gonna do and get onto that property to alleviate that flooding and again, definitely alleviate some phone calls to Commissioner Daniels and myself about what's going on out there. So I would urge for it to be approved. I'll get the temporary easement in order for Commissioner Daniels, for the landowner to sign with the work that's gonna be done, possibly a timeline of when it's going to be completed. That way everybody's clear about what's going on.
And the main focus being that the work on the private property is not for the benefit of the property owners, for the benefit of the county.
Of the public, yes, ma'am.
Yes, of the public. Is that a motion?
I'll make that a motion.
All in favor, aye.
Thank you.
And that motion is to approve the temporary easement for the work on the property.
And I think he's gonna come up with guidelines and all of that.
Yeah, it'll be in that easement, but he won't have to bring it back to the court if we approve that easement.
Yes, the landowner will sign off on it. I'll get with you, Mike, once I get the work done on it.
Consider purchasing a tractor mower for $76,900.44 for additional precinct order. All over aye. Motion carries. Any comments from Commissioner Court members?
I have Jose. I don't know if y'all know Jose. Jose is in surgery this morning. I should pray for him today.
Any other comments? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I second.
All in
We'll
favor?
remind about Friday? We'll remind about Friday?
Yes, we're adjourned. Friday is going to be